And look at Tim Duncan. Wake Forest against Wake Forest, trying to come over for the blocked shot.
So Parker at the line. He's hit 4 of 6 at the free throw line. Parker had the hot first half. Here in the third quarter, it's been a combination of Ginobili and Duncan. Parker distributing the ball, now has 7 assists along with his 20 points. The New Orleans Hornets, who went 56-26 in the regular season, finished the second seed in the West behind the Lakers, jumping from 39 wins a year ago. They finished out of the playoffs for the third straight season. 3 years ago, they won only 18 games. They were 18-64. So this is a franchise that has come a long way, taking the first 2 games of this best of 7. After winning the opening round series, Henry able to knock it down. In that first round series, the Hornets with the impressive 5-game win over the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, I'll tell you this, Byron Scott is going to have to change up his doubling scheme against Tim Duncan. Either they're going to have to come late or wait till he gets into a series of dribbles, because if they come on the catch, it's too much of the rotation for the Hornets to get back to.
Oh, beautiful pass. Parker for Udoka. 83-61. San Antonio.
Well, one thing that's overlooked in Tony Parker's game is his passing ability. Nice look off right there to find Udoka for the land.
Bowen is all over Stojakovic. And over the years, he's played Stojakovic very well. Stojakovic stopped by Duncan and came over to help. It's a 3-on-1 with Paul back. Udoka is fouled. Paul picks up his third.
Tony Parker, this is one thing that's overlooked in his game. Gets into the lane, finds the cutting Udoka for the easy lay-in. The Spurs in a rout.
We don't have to get 3 happy. Come down and shoot real quick.
We did last. We got 3 threes the last
Exactly. We get a couple, you got to feel it. A little pump, drive, we'll be all right. Yeah.
We take a rebound, we push it.
Yes, sir. It's your game, baby.
And you saw that look back by Tony Parker, because he cannot believe what Greg Popovich said, saying it's your game, baby. I remember in years back when there really wasn't a great trust factor between Greg Popovich and his point guard, Tony Parker. Greg Popovich understanding that the maturity level that Tony Parker has shown over the years, he's a champion now. He understands that he knows how to lead this team. 8 assists tonight, and he's right. The Spurs 5 of 19 from long distance. They don't want to get too happy, but you got to understand they're double teaming Tim Duncan. The wide open look, 3 looks are there.
San Antonio has come out very strong in this third quarter. Third quarter had been a problem area over the first 2 games of this series. They've out-rebounded the Hornets 14-5 here in the third, and they now lead 85-61. We've been eavesdropping on Byron Scott right from the start, and he was on it from the start, telling his team that they are being severely outplayed, out-hustled by San Antonio.
Well, that's what the defending champs are trying to do. They are trying to take the heart of this young team. They are trying to test them, because he feels they really haven't been tested. Even in that first round series against Dallas, they really weren't tested. Well, you're up against the champs now.
Shot clock down to 4. Paul on the steal. We're approaching 1 minute to play in this third quarter. West lost it. But a very frustrating game for David West. Udoka protecting, Pargo going for the steal.
And this, during the playoffs, is one of the tapes as the Hornets are going to fly back to New Orleans that is going to be hard to watch. As inadvertent pass by Ginobili.
And Pargo not able to take advantage. Ginobili is on it.
It's going to be hard for the Hornets to view this, because they're going to look at all the countless mistakes, the bad closeouts.
Ginobili's pass picked up. Here comes West. pulls it up. I don't think that was the shot he was looking for. Now the Spurs can hold for a final shot of this third quarter. 3 straight turnovers committed by the Spurs, 2 by Ginobili. But the Hornets not able to take advantage. Ginobili works it down. Parker got picked off. Finley stripped by Paul, and it is a shot clock violation. Still 7/10 of a second remaining. And the ball back to New Orleans. They can't get a shot off. Although the inbounds in the backcourt. And they're resetting the clock. 1.9 showing now. Here's Pargo eluding Ginobili. And that's the end of the third quarter. The Spurs outscore the Hornets 30-19 in the third, continuing the third quarter turnaround that began Thursday night in Game 3. When we come back, Craig will talk with Greg Popovich.
24 with me, Coach Greg Popovich. And what's impressed you most about your team's performance so far?
I think we've been aggressive defensively. We hit the board pretty well and pushed it after we've gotten rebounds.
Now the Hornets are very short on playoff experience. Do you keep this pressure on in the fourth quarter, try to demoralize them or shake their confidence anyway?
We just want to play well. You know, we're down right now. They beat us to death 2 times in a row, and we just want to keep playing better.
All right, up by 24 going into the fourth. Back to you, Mark.
All right, thank you, Craig. And Byron Scott making wholesale changes here in the fourth quarter. He is going with all second-unit players on a night where he has not used his bench very much. Ginobili being played by Wright. Ginobili shoots over Wright, try to go glass. Bonzi Wells with the rebound. This is Mike James with it. Hope Armstrong is also out there, along with Ryan Bowen.
And Byron Scott's trying to find a spark in his team, very much the way George Karl did in that Game 3 in the first round against the Lakers, taking out Julian Wright with the finish, taking out Iverson and Kenyon Martin and Carmelo Anthony, trying to get a spark. You never know, you could bring back your starters.
And obviously he was not pleased with the work of his starting lineup, although Chris Paul did the job again, but not the usual impact. 23 points and 5 assists. Fourth quarter just underway, and the Spurs with the big lead. Duncan added to it. San Antonio with an 87-63 advantage. Armstrong, as he makes his move, he is fouled by Ginobili.
And we talked about the changes that Popovich made, taking Bowen and putting him on Peja, and it started off really rough for Peja. He misses a wide open lay-in, and then on the following play, another lay-in, and then right here he gets a drive, but Bowen is all over him. Tim Duncan comes over for the help. Peja 3 of 9, 6 points, and that's coming off a Game 3 where he was 2 of 7 and only 8 points for the Hornets.
And then after 2 outstanding games, Games 1 and 2 in New Orleans, Fabricio Oberto's come on for Tim Duncan. Jacques Vaughn has checked in. Udoka with the opening, and then picked off by James. Here's Wells to the rim. 87-65 in this fourth quarter.
Bonzi Wells is the primary scorer out here for the Hornets.
Oberto, standing one-hander from the baseline by Oberto. Fabricio Oberto, another member of Argentina's successful national team. Star in Argentina, starting center for the gold medal winning team in the 2004 Olympics. Here's Wells, picked up by Vaughn.
if I'm some of these Hornets on the floor right now, I'm trying to play for minutes for Game 5 because Byron Scott very much might shorten the rotation. If I'm out here, I'm trying to play hard, try to get on the floor as Alberto. Another up and under move for the Spurs.
That's the second field goal, both coming here in the fourth quarter. Right. They dared him to take the long jumper of those. He's been hitting three-pointers.
Yeah, but he's got to trust in it. Remember before game 1, Byron Scott said that's the one area that he really needed to work on to stay on the floor.
Bentley for three from straight away. Michael Finley has dropped the ball well. 5 of 7. 12 points. That's his second three. Armstrong spinning inside. Hilton Armstrong in his second season out of University of Connecticut. First round pick of the Hornets last year. Udoka. James with that hesitation move, and he's fouled by Vaughn. And a timeout is taken with 4 minutes gone by in the fourth. Michael Finley from straight away. Good today, sponsored by Dockers, and this afternoon, Darren Williams with 29 points, 14 assists. As the Jazz defeated the Lakers in Game 4 of their series, 123-115 in overtime in Salt Lake City. And that series is now even at 2. Game 5 is coming up Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on TNT. You can log on to TNT Overtime at NBA.com for more Dockers looking good performances.
Well, the question is Utah's game going to travel? They have not been all year notoriously bad on the road as a team. Can their game travel to LA and then get still a victory?
As Armstrong went up for the rebound, he was hit from behind. Foul on Ori, who just came on. Utah Jazz at home at 37-4. That's the best record in the NBA, followed by the Spurs, who were 34-7. Here at the AT&T Center. Reminder, you can go to the expanded TNT Overtime on NBA.com and check out Reggie's mailbag, where our own Reggie Miller will answer all your questions on the NBA. And it says here also regarding exotic vacation locales.
Barbados, Tahiti, Fiji.
Of course, TNT Overtime on NBA.com, where you can get TNT NBA Thursday 7 days a week. Brent Barry has come on for the first time, missing on that three-pointer. So both clubs have gone to the bench. Here is James, Mike James, in his 7th NBA season out of Duquesne. Not drafted by an NBA club, signed with Miami originally as a free agent. Then on to Boston, Detroit, Milwaukee, Houston, Toronto, Minnesota. Back to Houston, now New Orleans. Shot clock is down to 5. Ori to the step back. Rebounded by Armstrong, battling his teammate Wells. Mike James just a couple of years ago averaged 20 points a game for the Raptors. Shows us the crossover, but comes up short.
And I'm curious how this young, average 28-year-old New Orleans Hornets team is going to respond, especially coming into a very huge Game 5 on Tuesday. How are they going to take this loss?
Vaughn pops it out. Here's Ori. Udoka. That's a 3 for Ime Udoka. He's played well. 12 points off the bench, and the Spurs rolling it up, lead at 97. to 72. Udoka's second three of the night. Hilton Armstrong with the perimeter shot. 6 minutes to go in the game, and the Spurs up 97 to 74. They led by 13 at the half, by 24 after 3. Udoka wide open, this time off the mark from downtown.
Finally, this may be a signature win for Greg Popovich and the Spurs. Put something on the minds of this upstart New Orleans Hornets. They really got ran out of the gym in games 1 and 2 in New Orleans. Greg Popovich scratching his head. Come back in game 3.
Rick, I don't know how you feel about it, but when it comes to playoff time, Vaughn with a nice ball fake and then whips it to the corner. Out it goes to Horry. Back to Vaughn. It goes to the hook. Rebounded by Udoka, and they have a new 24. But usually I find in the playoffs, one game does not necessarily lead to another. However, when you're talking about a very young New Orleans team that has been beaten so convincingly here by San Antonio, even though they won the first 2 games in blowouts in New Orleans, as Barry comes up with a steal on the deflection. Perhaps this is the type of game that might remain on their minds as they're facing the defending NBA champions.
Well, frankly, New Orleans does not have to win a game here and still win the series. But you're playing against the defending champs who are very good on the road.
Team from the Hornets are going to respond to this rubbing. At the other end of the spectrum, you have the defending NBA champions and Robert Horry, who's obviously coming in tonight. He tied Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, his 237th career playoff game, most all time. 16 years in the playoffs. He's made the playoffs every year. And Marvy's been around so long that he was a teammate of Kenny Smith. He was traded for Charles Barkley, and he guarded Reggie Miller.
That is old.
That's a very impressive trifecta for a player who's been a member of 7 NBA championship teams, 2 with Houston, 3 with the Lakers, and 2 with San Antonio. Robert Horry's goal had been to play 15 years in the NBA. This is number 16 and counting. Udoka with another 3. That's his third three-pointer. He has 15 points in all. The Spurs lead 100-74 with just under 4 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Here's Wells. Rebounded by Damon Stoudemire, who just came on. Stoudemire started the season with Memphis, signed as a free agent. Spent 2.5 years with Toronto, on to Portland, Memphis, and now San Antonio in his 13th NBA campaign. Stoudemire was rejected by Armstrong.
Well, the Hornets have to try to find something in the remaining 3 minutes, something to make them feel good going into Game 5, even though it may be coming from role players and bench players. They've got to try to do something right to hang their hat on for Game 5 on Tuesday.
Do you think they could find anything where they will feel good going in to Tuesday? I don't think Byron Scott just has to say forget about this.
You're still going to review this film, and you know, if it's working together, maybe running your offense, coming up with some stops, do something. Whereas the starting 5 guys look at these role players and take something from it. You've got to take something, even though it's a drubbing. You've got to take something from it.
Wells lost his balance. He thought he was fouled. Barry chases it down. Vaughn flying all over the court, able to catch up with it.
Well, he thought that Barry was going in for one of those slam dunks. He is a former slam dunk champion, leading him to the rim
many years ago. Vaughn comes up short. Udoka had it slapped away. It has been a combination of the Spurs' big 3. Tim Duncan with easily his best game of this series. 22 points. Tony Parker with 21. Manu Ginobili with 15. And then Ime Udoka off the bench for 15 points.
And how about Tim Duncan? had struggled up to this point in the semifinals against the Hornets, has that signature Tim Duncan game, 22 points and 15 rebounds, Marv.
Duncan shooting 10 of 13 from the field. San Antonio overall at 53% shooting. Hilton Armstrong able to put it down. We're under 2 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. So this series will head back to the Big Easy. All tied at 2. We'll have it right here on TNT, 9:30 Eastern Time on Tuesday night. And then Game 6 back here in San Antonio on Thursday night. Game 7, if necessary, back in New Orleans a week from tomorrow night. Armstrong and Wells with the follow. But this is strictly garbage time, with the Spurs up now 100-78, coming up on a minute remaining. Thanks to our producer Scooter Bertino, director Renato Lowe, associate director Tom Heitz, production assistants Dave Olszewski and Eric Duncan, and our statistician Paul Evans. Horry coming up short, and faced down by Vaughn.
It is a series now. The best 2 of 3. If you're the Hornets, you go home. You played fantastic in the Crescent City during these playoffs.
Standing ovation for the Spurs as Vaughn fires one up. Down to a half minute to play. Armstrong off the fake. Hilton Armstrong in his limited time has hit 4, 5, 9 points. But the story of tonight's game, Tim Duncan 10 for 13, 22 points, 15 rebounds, 4 block shots. Tony Parker had the big first half, 18 of his 21 in the first half on 8 of 12 shooting and 8 assists. And Manu Ginobili, 15 points and 8 assists. Chris Paul had a quiet game, did not get much help, 23 points. He did hit 10 of 16 from the field and had 5 assists. And unusual for Chris Paul, he turned it over 4 times. You see the scoring rundown. A 20-point victory for the Spurs. Let's go to Craig with Tim Duncan.
Well, Tim, you're always the focal point of the opposing team's defense. First 3 games averaging just 13, but tonight a dominating performance. 22 points, 15 rebounds, 4 blocks. What was the difference for you?
I don't know. There was a difference. Made some shots tonight. It's all about moving the ball against these guys. We know where they're coming from. We understand what they're going to try to double team, and we got to find our shooters and make sure they knock out shots.
You opened this series one of the worst playoff games of your career, 5 points. You didn't make any excuses despite that 103-degree temperature. But as a proud man, how did you say, hey, I have to play better personally for this team to do anything?
I'm just trying to do my part. It's just that. You got to step up. It's playoff time, and it's a win or go home, so you got to step up and make plays.
Definitely looked like a different series than we saw in New Orleans. They were young, inexperienced, looked like they didn't have a care in the world, but now it looks like they know going through the defending champions is not going to be easy. Do you think maybe you shook their confidence a little bit tonight?
Yeah, I hope so. Obviously, we've done nothing but win our home games, as have they. So we're going to have to go in there and try to steal one from them there.
Thanks a lot. Great performance. Thank you, Mark.
All right, Craig. And the Hornets during the regular season went 30-11 at home. And that includes 17 wins out of the last 18 played in New Orleans. And they have won 8 straight home playoff games dating back to 2004. But the tone is different, though, as this series heads back to the Big Easy. The series even at 2. Game 5 Tuesday night. We'll be there. We'll have it for you here on TNT starting at 9:30 Eastern Time. Once again, the final score, the Spurs 100 and the Hornets 80. You're watching TNT, the exclusive home of the Western Conference Finals. So for Craig Sager, Reggie Miller, I'm Marv Albert saying good night from San Antonio. Now to Atlanta for Ernie, Kenny, and Charles.